This is Algebra 1, spring, from our test week number 5. Study guide number 1 says find a solution of the following system of equations. Notice it doesn't tell you to graph and check. It doesn't tell you to do substitution. We'll use substitution to find this one. When you're substituting, find it's easier to write them side by side. 3x plus 2y is negative 1. The other one, 4x plus 4y equals 4. Easiest one looks like to get by itself will be that 2y right there. It looks like it would be the easiest numbers to fool with. So let's move 3x over to the other side. It's positive on the left. So when we move it over to the right, it becomes negative 3x. They still have negative 1 over there on the right, but we don't have y isolated yet. We have to divide by 2. So divide that and everything else by 2 as well. Y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 1/2. So now even though we're dealing with fractions, we have isolated our y variable. We can take that value and plug it in place of y. 4x plus 4 times our new value of y that we just found, or our new expression, which is negative 3 over 2x minus 1/2. From there, you need to distribute the 4 that's outside of the parentheses. 4 times that is negative 12 over 2, which we know is negative 6x. And 4 times that is negative 4 over 2, which we know is minus 2. So we still have 4x up front, and we still have equals 4 at the end. So what we're dealing, we got rid of the fractions doing that. Putting your like terms together, putting 4x and negative 6x together, you get negative 2x. Bring the rest down, minus 2 equals 4. Move minus 2 over by adding it to both sides. Negative 2x equals 6. Get rid of negative 2 times something by dividing by negative 2 on both sides. Do it here as well. Positive divided by negative is a negative 3. So now we have a value for x, negative 3. Substitute it back in to any of the other equations. Now, normally we would take it and we'd put it right back into this equation, but that doesn't look like the easiest one to substitute it into to solve for. So let's say we plug it back into this equation instead. We'll do a little bit more moving, but it'll be a little bit more user-friendly for us. 3 times x, or 3 times negative 3, is our new value for x. Plus 2y equals negative 1. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Plus 2y is 1. Is negative 1. Get rid of negative 9 by adding it to both sides. Negative 1 plus 9 is positive 8. So you have 2y equals 8. Get rid of 2 times something by dividing by 2 on both sides. Y equals 4. Now you have an x and a y value. You always write the solutions to systems as x comma y. Make sure you put them in the correct order. X's value is negative 3. Y's value is 4. Negative 3, 4. Tells you to graph each system. Tell whether the system has no solution, one, or infinitely many solutions. We're going to just make sketches of these graphs. Y equals mx plus b, both of these. Your b value of your first one is 5. That means you begin at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where your first point's going to be. Your slope value, your m, is negative 1. Remember, that's over 1. That tells you to go down 1 and to the right 1. So your equation sketched will look very similar to that. The other equation, y equals mx plus b, your b value is 2. So you begin this one at 2. Your slope value, again, is negative 1 over 1. So that tells you to go down 1 and over 1. So we create two equations that look just like this. You can clearly see they have the same slope or the same m value. They will never cross each other. So this is going to be one of those cases where it's no solution. The first equation for number 3 says y equals mx plus b. It's a nice, neat form. You can see its b value is 2. So begin at 2. So begin at 2. Then its m value is 3. Remember, that's 3 over 1. That means go up 3 and to the right 1. So your first equation, if you sketch it, is going to look like that. The second equation is not in y equals mx plus b form. You have to move that negative 2 to the other side. When you do that, you get y equals 3x minus 2. Now you have a b value of negative 2. So that means begin at negative 1, 2 on your y-axis right there. Your slope value for this one, you can see your m value is positive 1. That means go up 1 and to the right 1. So up 1 and over 1, and that equation is going to look like that. Had you extended that line, as I have the red one here, had you extended it, you'll get to a point where they intersect at one point. So the answer to number 3 will be one solution. And the way you can tell they will intersect is they're not parallel lines, because parallel lines have the same slope. The first equation slope was 3. Oh, hold on a second. I looked at the wrong spot. Your slope of number 3, second equation, I looked at the wrong spot. Your m value is here. Your m value is also 3. 3 over 1. So this equation here is incorrect, the blue one. Your b value is still negative 2. You still begin at negative 2, but you go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, and your equation is going to look like that. So again, they have the same slope value. So just like number 2, they are parallel lines. There'll be no solution. Number 4 says solve this using substitution. Okay, these are in nice, neat forms for substitution already. Y equals 2x plus 3 and y equals 4x plus 10. We'll take this value of y, 2x plus 3, and we'll plug it in right there for y. 2x plus 3 equals 4x plus 10. We'll just put it just like that. Move your smaller x over to your larger one. 2 is smaller than 4, so subtract 2x. It'll cancel it on the left. Subtract it on the right. 4x minus 2x is 2x. Bring the rest of it down. 3 equals that plus 10. Move positive 10 over by subtracting it. 3 minus 10 is negative 7 equals 2x. Divide by 2 on both sides, and x equals negative 7 over 2. There's your value for x. Take that value and plug it in place of x. Y equals 2. I wrote it like a fraction. Y equals 2 times negative 7 over 2 plus 3, because your new value for x is negative 7 over 2. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Divided by 2 is negative 7 plus 3. Negative 7 plus 3 gives you y's value of negative 4. You have x comma y now. X comma y. X is negative 7 over 2. Y is negative 4. Number 5, we solving by substitution. Again, we'll do this one a little bit quicker. Sub that value in place of y for that equation. So 3x minus 8 equals 2x minus 2. Move 2x over by subtracting it. It leaves you with 1x on that side. Move your value negative 8 over by adding it, and you get x equals negative 2 plus 8 is positive 6. There's your value for x. Take that value and plug it into the other equation. Y equals 3x minus 8, or 3 times our new value for x, which is 6 minus 8. Y equals 18 minus 8. Y equals 10. You have x comma y, 6 comma 10. What that means is when you graph those two equations, that is the one spot where they will intersect, the one spot they have in common, the solution to the system of equations. Y equals 4x and y equals 3x plus 2. So let's use this short version and say in place of y, 4x equals 3x plus 2. Move 3x over by subtracting it, and it leaves you with 1x on the left equals 2. So you got your x value right there equals 2. Plug it back into one of the other equations. Y equals 4 times 2. Wouldn't have made no difference, but 4 times 2. y equals 8. X comma y, 2 comma 8. Number 7, it's already set up for substitution. This one already has y by itself. So in place of that other equation, 3x plus 2 times y equals 7, we're going to put this value for y that we have. Negative 3x plus 11. You have to distribute 2 times that and 2 times that. Bring the rest down. You have 3x that you can put together with negative 6x and get negative 3x. Get rid of plus 22 by subtracting it. 7 minus 22 is going to be negative 15. You still have negative 3x on that side. Get rid of negative 3 times something by dividing by negative 3. Do it here. Negative divided by negative is a positive 5. Bring that back in and plug it into your other equation. Y equals negative 3 times 5 plus 11. Gives you negative 15 plus 11. Y equals negative 4. X comma y, 5, negative 4. Okay, number 8. Finding the x and y intercepts. In order to find the x-intercept, you plug in 0 for y, or you can just cover this up and say negative 6x equals 30. Divide by negative 6, your x-intercept is negative 5. In order to find the y-intercept, you can plug in 0 for x, or you can cover this part up and get negative y equals 30. And when you divide by negative 1, y equals negative 30. X and y intercepts are negative 5 and negative 30. Then we got multiple step equations for the starting at number 9. You got 5 over 7 times x plus 2. Get rid of plus 2 when you follow your order of operations backwards. 5 over 7x equals 6. That says 5 over 7 times that, so you would undo that by dividing. But remember, dividing by a fraction and multiplying by its reciprocal are the same thing. So instead of wasting 2 steps, we'll just multiply by 7 over 5. That'll cancel it out when you multiply this side by 7 over 5. 6 times 7 is 42. 1 times 5 is 5. X equals 42 over 5. For number 10, you need to distribute 3 times y and 3 times 3. You need to get rid of plus 9 by subtracting it. And 3y equals 21, and you need to get rid of 3 times something by dividing it. Y equals 7. You got variables on both sides for number 11. Move the smaller one to the larger one. 5 smaller than 6, so move it over. It's positive, so subtract it. Do it here. 6 minus 5 is 1x. These will cancel. You still have negative 7 on that side. Since you brought x to the right, bring negative 2 or minus 2 over to the other side by adding it. Add it to the other side as well. Negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5 equals x, or x equals negative 5. On the slope of the line, you need to pick 2 points that are going through intersections. That looks like a good one. That one looks like a good one. Start at the left one, count how many times you got to go down. Down means negative 1. How many times you got to go right? Once, twice, that means positive 2. Remember, it's rise over run. So how many times did you rise? You went down 1, negative 1. How many times did you run? You went positive 2. Your slope is negative 1 over 2. Remember, m is the variable most used for slope. Find the slope of these two. Your slope is the change of y over the change of x. So if you label your points xy, xy, this one will be sub 1, this one sub 2. Y sub 2's value is negative 2 minus y sub 1's value is 5 over x sub 2's value is 8 minus x sub 1's value is 4. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. 8 minus 4 is 4. Your slope, negative 7/4. Slope and y-intercept. Luckily, it's in slope-intercept form for us. Y equals mx plus b. You just have to remember which one's slope and which one's y-intercept. Your b value is the y-intercept. Remember the sign that goes with it. So the y-intercept is -6. The m value is your slope. It's what's multiplying by x. Your slope is 7/4. Write these equations given the slope and the y-intercept. Well, if you want to write it in slope-intercept form, you want to write it as y equals mx plus b, to where we plug in m's value where m goes, and we plug in b's value +5 where b goes. Y equals x plus 5. There's no reason to write the 1 in. Again, you got mx plus b. You got m and b given to you for number 6. Y equals m's value x plus b. B's value again is +4/3, so +4/3, and m's value is +2/5. So y equals 2/5 x plus 4/3. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation. You need it. So in order to write the slope-intercept form, you need to find a slope and an intercept. Your intercept of this one is where it crosses through the y-axis. That's your b value, so b is 1. The other part you need to find, like we said, is the slope. How many? You need to find the slope. Use the points that are given to you. This point right here is given to you in this one, just in case you made a mistake in the middle. So how many times do you have to go up? You got to go up once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up 6 is +6. How many times do you have to go right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the right is +6. So your rise is 6 and your run is 6. So your slope simplifies to 1 as well. So now, just like the last two problems, y equals mx plus b, you're plugging in your m value, which we know is +1, and your plus b value, which we know is +1. So y equals x plus 1. There's no reason to write 1x.